There is certainly no greater mystery than that of the identity of God. Throughout all of human history, since the time when human beings first became self-aware and thus were able to think in logical and rational ways, the mystery of God has ever been with us all. Thus are the foundations of all religious and metaphysical thought and inquiry. Let us consider some of the most basic questions surrounding the mystery of God. First, what is the nature of God? If God is a being outside the natural realm, who is the creator and sustainer of all things, then we would be compelled to consider that God must be an eternal being. The Judeo-Christian faith, to which we subscribe, teaches that God had no beginning and will have no end. If God, therefore, has always existed and will continue to exist for all eternity, then under what scenario can we possibly imagine that? There is none that our minds can conceive. The significance of God's Hebrew name is powerful indeed. He told Moses that his name is Yahweh, translated as I am. There is no other being or any other thing in our universe that can make that claim. For in fact, God must surely exist outside of time, because he is clearly not subject to its effects. Thus, is it always and eternally now for God? And also, if we accept the teachings that God is a personal being of limitless power, who is the creator of all things, and perhaps an infinite number of universes besides our own, then we find ourselves compelled to ask how and why he created it at all. The biblical book of Ecclesiastes suggests that God has placed eternity in the hearts of men, and yet not given us the ability to understand. This shows that each of us is drawn to the great questions just as a moth to flame, and our questions always begin with, who is God? Now there are many who do not believe in the existence of God, and yet nothing that they can imagine or postulate can account for the simple fact that something cannot come from nothing without some conscious act or will to make it so. Energy and matter would certainly seem to have no ability to self-create, and since they are finite and limited and without personality, there is no way to account for their existence without resorting to God. In fact, it seems utterly impossible to account for anything without acknowledging that there is a God who is above and beyond and within all things, and by whose will all things exist. Truly, God is a profound mystery. From a metaphysical perspective, many of us live with the hope that we will transcend this plane of existence and finally learn the answers to these great and mysterious questions.